And we are back. Hey, thank you for hopping on the Pigskin Cafe. We've already done an episode this week, but we also want to talk about hey, what's coming up. And this episode, we know it's hitting you on a Friday, so maybe you're in a pick'em at work or something like that. You're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to get ahead? Maybe some of this wisdom that these two gentlemen that I'm with might help you do that. So we've got four games that we want to talk about that are just big time games that not always the biggest one, sometimes the most impactful on the college football landscape is probably the best way to look at it. So, just to talk about those, Graham, let me bring you straight into this. We did talk about a lot of things at Alabama that's all happening. Well, hey, you got to get up and play another weekend. You can't sulk on it too much. We say that there's not, everything was still in front of them until the LSU game. Well, hey, you still have games to play and you've still got a season to finish. And so they're playing Ole Miss this weekend. What do you think? I wish that I could even tee it up better than that, but just there's a lot of aspects going into this game. What do you think? Where's your head's at? Where do you think? Who do you think wins this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough for Alabama because they're on the road again. I think that, if Alabama's playing at home, I feel a whole lot more comfortable in picking Alabama to win this one. But on the road at Ole Miss, I think they've had a lot of tape on you. They've seen you lose to Tennessee. They've seen you play really close to Texas. They've seen you play really close against A&M. They've seen you lose to LSU. They've got a lot of film on you. And Lane Kiffin, if we know anything, he's good at drawing up plays to opponents' weaknesses. I mean, he's good at it. So this one's tough. Alabama is currently favored by 12 points, which I don't. That's a lot of points. That is a lot of points. If you're doing a pick 'em, do not pick Alabama to cover 12 points because
Mm-hmm.
that will not happen. If Alabama wins this one convincingly, it'll be 10 points. I think Ole Miss's offense is going to be too prepared for this one to make it where it is a blowout game for Alabama to win. I think that's a close one, but I think Alabama is going to get enough things right this week to win by 3 to 7 points. I think Alabama gets the one possession that makes a difference. I think they're going to execute on that this week to win the game. Hampton, glad you joined us this week. Uh, Go ahead.
I'm
We
here
talk.
every week.
Yeah, not every week.
That is true.
You keep making false statements on me, Hampton. Not
Yeah.
every week. There is one week you hadn't been here. But Alabama, 12-point favorites at Ole Miss. What do you think? I mean, we broke down Alabama a lot. Tell us what you think.
Well, you talked about Pick'ems at the beginning. I just want to give a shout out to the Riverbank Pick'ems group up in Clanton, Alabama. You know who you are. Um, so after the Alabama debacle against LSU, Alabama playing bad on the road against Tennessee, and pretty much all of last year, other than the Mississippi State game, very worried going into this game. It's going to show you who Alabama is and if they have any fight left in them, if they're going to just like lay down or they're going to try to finish the season well. I mean, there's still a lot to play for. Still can be 10-win team. Can still
Meineke
go to a
Car
good
Care
bowl
Bowl.
game.
Let's go.
Huh? What'd you
The,
say?
the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Let's go.
Heck yeah, man. Um, and I think this game is very interesting from a matchup perspective. Ole Miss's offense is predicated on the running game. They're a lot like Tennessee with how wide they run their splits. Like, I mean, their receivers are very close to the sideline, which makes you have to play with a light box. And they're be able to run the ball very well with Judkins and Evans. I mean, they're an effective duo. Jackson Dart can run the ball really well. Lane Kiffin had great success in 2020. Pete Golding got him back in 2021, drew up a really good game plan against Ole Miss with a much better quarterback in Matt Corral. Their defense is terrible, absolutely terrible. I mean, Auburn scored 34 on them. LSU scored 45 on them. With that said, I've got to pick Ole Miss, and I cannot believe I'm doing that. Alabama's got to show me that they go on the road and win this game after losing in heartbreaking fashion. I need to see it to believe it. I think they match up very well. They should win this game, but since it's on the road in Oxford, I'm going with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin to get a big win under his belt. Chase, what about you, man?
That's bold. I don't think I'd ever hear Hampton Sipper bet against the Tide. I don't think, man. I mean, simply put, never bet against. I mean, never bet the over when it comes to Alabama on an away game. Just the way this team's made up, there's no way that they're going to score more than beat them by 12 points. I don't really love Ole Miss's quarterback. I think he plays well at times, but I also don't really love his play overall. I think that overall, but I think that Alabama still wins this game. But again, it's just how good are we? We're within the spread. We're not beating the spread, which means that even the people who are betting money on you still think that you're at least 11, 12 points better than them, and that's just not the case. So, hey, let's go to the Big 12 for a second. Come out here to the great state of Texas, the in-state matchup. And, fellas, if you're UT, you got to be just a little excited that you've hosted game day twice this season already. I mean, that's really impressive for any school, but I think that the way that they hosted Alabama, then they lost to a team right after that, and then it was like, okay, right back to the normal. But they really kind of reclaimed their season and put themselves in the position to take on the TCU Horned Frogs, which, as they say at TCU, when you're touring there, it stands for Texas Christian University, but you get to decide how big that C is in your experience. So that's truthfully what they say when you tour there. So, Graham, who you got? You got Texas, the Pagans of Texas University, or the Saints of TCU?
Yeah, so Texas is 7-point favorites at home. 6:30 kickoff on ABC. But Hampton, like you said, I've got to let somebody prove me wrong before I pick against them. I'm going to go with TCU. I think the offense just has too many weapons. Max Duggan's playing too well. If not, I mean, it's a big win for Texas if they pull it off. But give me TCU. I think this just might be their year to run the Big 12. So I'm going to keep picking them. Give me TCU.
I'm going to go with Texas taking down TCU. I picked them last week to beat Kansas State. They did not let me down, even though they almost did. I think being at home helps them. I think TCU has played with fire too much this year. A lot of one-score games, a lot of games where they've had to come back and win. I think it bites them in the butt in Austin on Saturday at night. And another big win for Sarkisian. They'll move to 7-3, I believe, on the year. Give me Texas. Yep. Chase, what about you?
This one, I think the room's going to be split. This is going to be the game if you are in a pick 'em. This is the game where you might be able to get ahead on people. Yep. I think people will quickly pick TCU. But, man, I think that I go, if I'm betting on this, I think I'm taking TCU with I don't think Texas beats them with the spread. I think is how I want to play it. Mm-hmm. TCU's got a high-powered offense. Which Ewers is going to show up? We'll see. I think I got to go with TCU. I do think that they lose before the end of this year, but give me TCU. Moving right along. Hey, Hampton, going straight to you. We've got your favorite player in the nation. We got, Bo Nix up there playing a heck of a season. Who you got, Oregon or Washington?
Bo Nix, who should be a top 3 Heisman candidate. Bo Nix, who has been better than Bryce Young this year. Bo Nix, who is going to beat the Washington Huskies, him and the Oregon Ducks. Keep on rolling. I like Oregon in this game. It's going to be a close one, though. Washington's been feisty all year with Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback. But give me Oregon. Give me the Ducks. Graham, what about you?
Yeah, so last week Washington beat the 25th ranked Oregon State Beavers at home. So they took their spot. They stole that 25 from them. I think there's going to be some payback from the state of Oregon. I think that Washington is going to Autzen Stadium in Eugene. Oregon's 13.5-point favorites. I think they cover. I'm going to take Oregon. Penix is good. He's got a great arm, but I think that offense is one of those where he really has to throw it around, and I think that Oregon will have enough turnovers to capitalize on. So give me Oregon.
Dang. Yeah, you got me kind of wondering. It's kind of like, man, is this the week that Bo Nix gets all his turnovers out of the way? But I'll go with y'all on this. As you say, hey, I'm going to bet on somebody until they prove me wrong. I'll go with Oregon on this. I think they've had a great year. They've turned it around, which is always nice to experience the defeat at the beginning. Know what that feels like. Don't want to experience it again. So, hey, let's end this with the matchup that some of you might not be expecting. Tulane what are they? What is their mascot? Are they the
They're the
Wave?
Green
Wave, I
Wave?
think. Green
Yeah.
Wave.
Green Wave?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was North Texas or Tulane as well.
They're the North Texas is the mean green,
The
ain't
mean
it?
green, yeah.
Green, that's right. How could I ever confuse the two? And UCF, Hampton, who you got?
I thought you were going to say that their mascot too, so I was waiting for that shit to drop.
The Golden
Um,
Knights, isn't that right?
The Golden Knights, you got it, brother.
Wow.
I've got UCF in this one. It's playing in Tulane or at Tulane, not in Tulane, but at Tulane. UCF, Gus Malzahn has got that program rolling. I know they've been playing with a backup quarterback, but he's played well the past couple of weeks. They beat Cincinnati with him in the second half. I think they keep rolling. They're a top 25 team right now, I believe. Give me UCF. Graham, what about you?
I'm going Tulane. I think this is the battle for the American Conference. Tulane's 5-0 in conference. Their only loss was against Southern Miss. They beat Kansas State, who has been playing, up and down football. But whenever they're good, they've been playing really good. Tulane's really good at winning those close matchups. And UCF with John Rice Plumlee, I think that UCF is one of those. They're a boom or bust team. It's either going to be 70-15 or it's going to be 25 or 24-21. I think if it's that 24-21 matchup, give me Tulane to win that close one. And I think at home they'll take care of business.
Man, I didn't know that Tulane was honestly even in discussion. I looked them up. Hey, they're 16, 18. What are they? But one thing that's just a cool perspective, Tulane, I looked it up, says they have almost 15,000 students playing against one of the biggest universities in the nation against UCF. It's just kind of cool how you can build a football team, build a football program. So, anyways, all that to say, give me UCF. I think that's who I'm going to go with. I think Gus comes out with the plays that he's ready to run. I think they've kind of been in this moment a little bit more in Tulane. So let me see Tulane, but I think that could be one that if you told me you were going, I'm sorry, UCF. I think if you went with Tulane, I wouldn't bet anything against you. I think that might be a good way to get ahead on your pick'ems too. Mm-hmm. But hey, that's what we got. We wanted to roll through that. We know that our Alabama discussion against LSU went. If you got a chance to listen to that, I mean, I think that it was great. If you hadn't got a chance to, please check it out. I think it's kind of a State of the Union address for some of us Alabama fans, but I think it's good content that you might find other places, but I don't think you'll have it as well explained or as in depth. But you might have found what we talked about other spots. But anyways, hey, thanks for always watching. If you do get a chance, like and subscribe. We're constantly coming out with videos, trying to make sure that you always have something to listen to on your ride to work, ride to get something to eat, or taking a shower, anything like that. but glad we got to be a part of your week, and we will see you next time because the Pigskin Cafe is closed for now. But until then, chew on that.